Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And we are up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. You'll see and hear us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both / Wake Up Call DT. You'll also find us on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, where you can listen in to live internet streaming radio all around the world. And of course, once we go live, we hop into the archive. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Once again, the Great Lakes Honda City Studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Appreciate your patience here this morning. Apologize for our tardiness in getting set here, and very happy to be here with you inside these Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Go and visit them today for sales and service. They're open Monday through Saturday. And of course, you can also go online at any time of the day, any day of the week, GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Get a sneak peek of their inventory and what they have available to you to take home. You could buy and lease from them. They have new and used vehicles on the lot at Great Lakes Honda City. So make sure that you reach out today, take a look at what they have, and make sure that your family is set for the winter season. Make sure your family is set for the needs that you have. Maybe there's more that have been added to your family. Congratulations if that's the case. Maybe we're looking to go into the next chapter of our life and we got to work on getting a new vehicle. I know somebody just reached out to me whose lease was coming up and talking about what should I do. Well, in my opinion, what I've done for over a decade is I've gone to Great Lakes Honda City. I suggest you do that today. 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Let them know the DT sent you. With that being said, we have an awesome broadcast. So many things going on in today's show, and we're going to pack it all in and make sure you have it before the weekend happens today. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. We'll start things off. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver from Chick-fil-A Cicero will be right after. And then we will have, following the exclusive breaking news that Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse has officially joined a conference after being independent. They are now officially this season in a conference. We'll hear from men's basketball head coach about it, Gagen-Sherman, as well as women's basketball coach Amani. Then we'll jump into the top dog of the week, and we'll round out, and that's proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, the only place to bring your dog for short-term care, in my opinion. And then we will round out the show with Paul Seeley, the director of the Big 44 game, honoring Ernie Davis and Floyd Little with the high school football student-athlete all-stars of Section 3 and Section 4 going up against each other this weekend. So, with all that being said, let's hop into the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I don't know if I want to call it like an annoying moment, like, oh my goodness, I just can't. But I will say that playing the Christmas music before Thanksgiving, see, I don't listen a lot to traditional radio, but you know, you hear from people that are like, the Christmas music's already been on and they've been rocking with it for a while. So I think for me, that's got to be part of the annoying moment of the week is playing Christmas music right after Halloween. A little bit early, not really necessary. So I will say that is one of my annoying moments of the week is that I love Christmas. I love Jesus's birthday. I love what we should be focusing on Christmas, okay? Beyond the gifts and all that stuff. And so I'm not knocking Christmas by any stretch of the imagination. Not at all. I'm just saying that Christmas music playing in October, first week of November, let's give some love to Thanksgiving. Let's give some love to Turkey Day. And this is one of the holidays that they didn't try to change yet, right? When they try to force us to say some weird name that makes no sense, like Happy National We Stole This Land, It's Not Ours Day. So I mean it's craziness. I shout out to everybody that is here, right? Here in America, all around the world, to every background and every nationality. Like, let's be peaceful. When I think about Thanksgiving, I think about family. I think about love. I think about, being together, spending time together, quality time together, seeing people that maybe you don't see all the time, cooking things that maybe you don't cook all the time, and just being together. So that's another annoying moment of the week to me. Is like they're changing every holiday. We're not going to call it Christmas anymore. We're going to call it Happy Be Yourself While Looking at the Clouds Day. And it's like, no, it's Christmas. So, right? Hanukkah's Hanukkah, Christmas is Christmas. Like, I don't know who is in charge of the insanity of America, but I'd like for someone else to maybe have the role of, like, we're not going to, like, overseeing the why are we doing all this stuff? Why are we erasing Native Americans from sport history? I mean, there's certain things that people say they're doing things in the name of, but in actuality, it's the opposite. And common sense goes a long way, and I don't think we're paying attention truly to what matters in life. And I don't think we're having the right arguments necessarily either, because there's problems that persist, and then there's created problems that now have become, there was created problems that didn't exist, didn't have to exist, and are made up, that have now taken precedence over the actual problem. And I can't even fathom, there's so many things that the media in certain respects wants us to focus on, when it's not poverty, it's not violence, it's not, it's really not equality. It's not making sure that people all have access to things. So, I think our job is to challenge, right? And to focus on the things that matter, to realize we're more the same than we are different. We're living in a time where up is down, down is up, right is left, left is right, sane is crazy, crazy is sane. And I think we need God now more than ever. So I would say that my annoying moment of the week is that society has allowed itself to be manipulated and scared, and fear will do a lot of things to people. And I think living for God prevents you from living in fear, and also gives you a clearer eye into what's happening in the world. So I do pray that we all follow God and stop putting people above God, or anything above God, for that matter, is what I would say. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. I pray for a better world, a healing world, a world that follows God and does not live in fear. That would be my note for the annoying moment of the week. I'll also just, the drivers, please get better. I mean, just get better. I be stealing up all these licenses, man. Just get better. I can be better. There's days where I can absolutely do things better. I don't know if there's been a day this entire year, whether I was out for 5 minutes or 5 hours, that I can say that there was no driver that I drove by and like looked at them like, what is happening? Like, what is happening in your vehicle? By the way, whoever was responsible for my dreams last night, I had a horrible dream about like what people do to steal cars and like manipulate people. It was awful. But my car's in my driveway, so that's good. Thank God for that. With that being said, this is the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. It's now time to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is the acronym. Proudly presented by the fantastic team at Chick-fil-A Cicero, where we also do something called The Light Between Us. A new episode of that featuring Daniel Maloney is airing now on Facebook and YouTube.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, telling the stories of the team members and spreading positivity and light throughout the universe. We bring you The Light Between Us from Chick-fil-A Cicero, so you can go and watch that. Also brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero, which is run, owned, and operated by the wonderful, God-loving, and just amazing brother that I have, Mr. Jimmer Sikowski. And God bless to him, his family, and the entire team and his extended family at Chick-fil-A Cicero. It's time to get into our topic for this edition of Lead. Be yourself. Be yourself. Dan, that sounds easy. Really? Is it though? Is it easy? Is it easy for us to be ourselves? I would venture to say it's not. In today's world, I would venture to say it's really hard for us to be ourselves. You don't always see people being themselves anymore. You see people being somebody online and somebody when they're offline. You know, that fake life that people live where they appear to be what they're not. And so many people do that. And I think to myself, I'm like, if your life is based on being a fake version of yourself, at what point in your life are you actually living? At what point in your life are you actually being yourself? At what point in your life are you actually sharing who you are and what you're about and what matters to you? If you spend so much time trying to fake it, at what point are you actually being who you are and celebrating who you are? Are you ever doing that? So be yourself. This is a PSA. Life is hard. It's not easy. It's not always fun. There's things that happen that we wish didn't happen. There's things that are out of our control. There's things that are difficult. There's things that make us cry. There's things that make us scratch our head. Sometimes we feel like people waste our time. Sometimes we feel like people, sometimes people lie to us. They steal from us. They cheat us. They disrespect us. They ask for from us what they fail to give themselves. So you sit here and you say to yourself, Dan, it's hard to be me. It's hard to be open. It's hard to be honest because I can get hurt, because people can laugh at me, because people don't like me, because my mom and my dad love me and I love me and I love who I am and I love how I dress and I love what I'm about. Then I go to school and people make fun of me. And my whole life I thought I dressed fine. My whole life I thought I was good enough. My whole life I was told to just be me. And then when I was myself at this new school, people laughed at me. They pointed at me. They joked about me. They disrespected me. They put me down. And I felt sad. And I would say to you, that doesn't mean you're not good enough. Stop putting who you are and your worth in the hands of other people. That's what I would say to you. It doesn't matter if they laugh at you. Well, I don't want people to laugh at me. People laughed at Jesus. People threw stones at Jesus. People spit at Jesus. People called Jesus names. People traded Jesus with a murderer. People that were close to Jesus weren't there for him in the 11th hour. People that Jesus trusted let him down. People lied. People betrayed him. So when you look at this world and you say, people have been mean to me, people have been hard on me, people have disrespected me, I would say, well, then you're probably following the right path. You're probably following Jesus. Because if your life is hard, and no matter what you do sometimes to help others and be good to others, you feel like it doesn't work out, you feel like something backfires, you feel like when you do right, it's treated like wrong, well, congratulations. That probably means you're following Jesus. Being ourselves is not easy. What I say in the annoying moment of the week. We live in a world where up is down and down is up. We live in a world that doesn't make a lot of sense a heck of a lot of the time. That focuses on things that are unimportant. That creates problems instead of dealing with the real ones. This world is not a good determinant of your value. I had conversations this week with people that no matter how many times I said something, they continue to talk about something else. I had somebody tell me that they would that they want me to prove how I would do something that they can't prove they can do themselves. They want me to show them something that they can't show themselves. It's amazing how many people ask for things that they do not give. They demand things that they think if somebody asked of them, it's impossible. How do you ask somebody to do something and then live your life doing the opposite or not expecting that of yourself? So, this world is not a good determinant of your value. Okay? It's not how many followers you have on social media, because Jesus had 0. It's not how many clicks and likes that you have. It's not how much money that you have, because there's people that had a lot of money that weren't happy, that left this world all too soon. Okay? Life is about serving the Lord, serving others, being kind, giving all that you can, being good to yourself and others, and being willing to put yourself out there in a world that may disrespect you, may hate you, may laugh at you, may want you to change, may demand that you be what they want you to be. This world is not always going to be kind to you. It's not always going to make sense. And it will absolutely gobble you up and spit you out if you let it. So be yourself. Because if you are yourself and something doesn't work out or go the way you want it to, at least you know you did it as you and not acting like something that you're not. At least you know that the role you played in your life is who you are. And that when things go good, it's not some manipulation of you that enjoys that. If things don't go well, it's not some manipulation of you that's going through that. I'll tell you one thing. If I'm going to go through this life and I'm going to go through the ups and downs and the heartbreaks and the amazing moments and crying because I'm sad and crying because I'm happy, the frustrating moments and the moments of bliss, if I'm going to go through all of that, I'm going to go through it as me, not as an actor pretending to be somebody else. Because I was created by God. Some people may not like my height, may not like my goatee, may not like my face, may not like my voice, may not like what I do, why I do, what I believe in. But that's their problem. Because God made me. They did not. So you have a choice. To wake up every day thanking your Maker for making you and being the best possible person you can be. Or asking those that didn't make you how they would tinker with the toy that they did not create. Tinker with the image that they had no power over in the beginning. Why go to those that didn't create instead of going to your Maker and asking Him what to do? What do they always say? Go straight to the source. Humanity's not the source of your existence. God is. So when you struggle, go to Him. And when you do great things and things go well, go to Him. He is the one to be thanked first, and He is the first one to go to if you have to Cry, question, seek to understand. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. This is Lead, focusing on the topic, be yourself. Proudly presented by the wonderful team at Chick-fil-A Cicero. Thanks to Jim Sikowski and the crew, and shout out to Daniel Maloney, my most recent guest on The Light Between Us. You can see all our episodes of The Light Between Us by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking on our playlist, The Light Between Us. We will take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, I am very excited that we will have an exclusive ×2 with Clay Gagen-Sherman and Amani Free coming up right after this.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. It could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing. And so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. You just heard from Game Point Sports Complex and their creator, that being Jim Dispenza, and that is the home of the practices of your Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse men's and women's basketball programs. So I want to thank Jim Dispenza for having the awesome facility that is climate controlled and ready for any weather, any time of the year. And of course, as always, ready for your Bobcats. So with that being said, Clay Gagen-Sherman is here with me, bringing him in for some breaking news that has come out of Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. Breaking news from the school. Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse has joined a conference. They've been independent for a while in USCAA Division I. Now they're officially part of a conference. With that comes a lot of things, and more meaningful games, more opportunities. And I'm very, very excited to hear Clay Gagen-Sherman speak about it. I just saw him a couple days ago in a victory over SUNY ESF at home at Allen Hall on the campus of OCC. Clay, how we doing?
Morning, Dan. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Happy to have you on. I got to ask you this, though, because this is one of the most important questions that you'll ever be asked. Who drew the picture behind you?
That's from Kate and Cleo a couple years ago. This is see if I can turn the laptop.
Yeah.
But yeah, before nationals, that's Cleo with the team. She made us a sign, a good luck sign.
Yeah.
That was my first year in the men.
Yeah, and you also have one behind you here that says "Go Bobcats," so I see that as well. So bring me into this. Let everybody know the name of the conference and just the going through the process of joining a conference and making some history with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse.
Yep, it's the Nicaea Conference. It's a 9-team conference. So we got obviously ourselves, the Buffalo campus, the Albany campus, Rochester. Also our Ohio campus is in it. And then Bloomfield College, Five Towns College, Berkeley College, and Villa Maria. So yeah, definitely really exciting news for us. A 9-team conference, as you mentioned, meaningful games, bringing back those rivalries we had with the previous Bryant Strattons when we played them twice a year. So yeah, some big stuff. And obviously second semester is mostly conference play, and then followed by a conference tournament before nationals. So it's no longer just an independent schedule with the hope to get an at-large bid. It's a non-conference schedule and a conference schedule. And then once again, a conference tournament. So we're competing for a championship within that 9-team conference, and then nationals after that. So much more traditional with a lot of other schools in that sense.
Yeah, and the excitement of this, right? Having the opportunity for a conference championship, playing conference games, going into a conference tournament, and putting even more value into the work that's being done, and then going from there and going on to the national tournament. So like you said, having that in between, right? And something that we're used to when it comes to college basketball, and it's something that makes a lot of sense, right? That's what we see in the NCAAs is that you play your games non-conference, you play your conference games, you play your conference tournament, and then you try to get in the national tournament. And now it's given that template where we're going to see Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse play the games that you put on your schedule out of conference, play the in-conference, play the other Bryant Stratton campuses, bring those rivalries back, then get into a conference tournament where you can already win a championship before playing for a national title. It gives you an opportunity for multiple championships and gives you games that hold a lot of weight and puts you in a great place, hopefully nationally, to even more so showcase what you can do. And you have a full slate of games, and you got a pretty packed schedule this year. So I think everything is moving in the right direction as far as the vision of Bryant Stratton of Syracuse.
Yeah, for sure. And, once again, like each one prepares us for the next. The non-conference prepares us for the conference. The conference tournament prepares us for the national tournament. So it's really exciting from a scheduling standpoint that we do have a full schedule this year. And that conference tournament, I think, is going to be really important for our preparation for the national tournament. Because once again, it's meaningful games, pressure. It's on, pressure's on the line. Win or go home. So it gives that competitive nature and puts us in a pressure atmosphere playing for something that matters. So really excited about that.
Yeah, and it gets Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse in the spotlight of the NACIA, the Nicaea in general. You can go to naciasports.net. I'm on it right now here in the studio taking a look, and all this promotion for Bryant Stratton, talking about awards that were won. And like you said, the teams that are in it, there's Bryant Stratton campuses throughout America. So you have Albany as well as Syracuse being in there. We have Albany, Buffalo, Rochester, like you said, Ohio. We have Five Towns as well as Bloomfield, who you're going to be playing today. And you have Villa Maria that's a part of this. And you made mention of the fact that Berkeley and Bloomfield. So, having all of these schools within this 9-team conference, when you look at the competition, you look at the history, what does it mean to you to have this makeup of schools? Because I'm always talking about realignment and all these things that are happening with the NCAA. When you look at the NACIA, what does this conference itself, as far as, because what do they say? The value is the sum of its parts. So when we look at these 9 schools, what are your thoughts about the level of competition and the value of the conference?
Yeah, I think top to bottom is extremely competitive, especially in basketball on both the men's and women's side. I mean, 4 of the 8 national tournament teams last year for men's Division I basketball are in this conference: Villa Maria, Berkeley, us, and Buffalo. And just doing early scouts and watching the teams, it's just a really high level. It's no longer a cupcake non-conference schedule in the first semester. We get right into it, and obviously, like, we've added some schools outside of the conference to give us a higher level of competition early on. But every single conference game could go either way. Like, teams are really, really well balanced. And again, it's just you look at our conference, and it's like you look at the rest of the USCA Division I. Any single one of our teams could make the national tournament in D1 men's basketball. Which excites me because that just means like the level of competition on a weekly basis across the conference is going to be extremely high. And I think it's going to be a really good thing for the USCAA to have a legitimate conference that will gain reputation across the country.
Yeah, I love it. And you look at Bryant Stratton, the other campuses: Rochester, Albany, Buffalo, Ohio. Looking at those, I mean, there's that rivalry, right? Because when you're representing Bryant Stratton, and we know that this is, the Bryant Stratton name is all over this country. So when you're having those matchups, you want to be the one that is at the top of all of this. I know you've had some heated battles with Buffalo, and then obviously, historically we've seen Rochester and Albany, and it's good to also see Ohio as a part of this. Just to know those other campuses are there, and the playful banter back and forth, not just within the sports departments of these Bryant Strattons, but obviously of the institutions that, Mary Hawkins is, I'm sure, going to be out there as a campus director saying, hey, we want to take care of business when we face off against these teams. And, Brooke Parro is the athletic director saying, when I'm in meetings, it's good to turn around and say, like, we got the best of this. So I'm sure there's going to be that playful back and forth between Bryant and Strattons of which one is the one that's at the top of this conference.
Yeah, and we're all proud Bobcats, but obviously in the sports world, we all want to be the best. This conference is kind of an extension of what we used to do with the Vaden Cup a few years back before the conference formed last year, and the Vaden Cup was just the postseason tournament for basketball between the other Bryant and Strattons, and that really started the rivalries. Playing for hardware, playing to be the best Bryant Stratton basketball program, and Buffalo won a lot of those tournaments. So, Buffalo's done a very good job with their program, and they've been the top dog in the basketball world. And obviously, last year we had a great season, but we just didn't get the opportunity to really compete against other Bryant or against Buffalo until the consolation game at the national tournament. So it'll be exciting to bring those games back and see how we measure up. And once again, just play for something that's bigger than just a non-conference regular season game.
So for you, what does it say about the state of athletics at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that this was one of the next moves? We've seen, we got to break the exclusive news of you partnering with Game Point Sports Complex on 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse for men's and women's basketball training and practices, and now we're talking about this conference. Just what is it saying about these moves that are being made by Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse means what for the state of the school?
I just say it's a commitment to the growth mindset we have, within the department to try to move our programs forward in a better direction. We're fully invested in giving our students the complete student athlete experience, and a big part of that is playing games, playing a competitive schedule, and once again, just playing games that matter. The conference tournament's a really big deal. And then also, being part of a conference, there's weekly accolades, student player of the weeks, and all those things. So more opportunities for student athletes to be recognized for their achievements on and off the court and field. But yeah, I think joining the conference is just a symbol of the mindset we have as a department and a school And that's just basically having the growth mindset and continuing to grow our athletic programs.
Yeah, and now these non-conference games, some of them you were playing become conference games. So now they hold even more weight to them, including Bloomfield coming up here. Clay, to look at the season, obviously I've been around you a lot to start off this season, but what have been your takeaways as you've looked at this team and you get ready for some road contests and other things that you'll have out here? What have you seen from your team up to this point when you take an overall approach?
Yeah, I think it's a long season. I think we're doing some of the hard work, the stuff you don't necessarily want to deal with early on. I think we're doing that early in this season. We're addressing problems. We're having difficult conversations as a team and teammates to get on the same page. I think that's really important. I think that's something we learned last year. Through that, I think we're going to grow as a team. We're going to be more connected down the road. But obviously, I think the potential is through the roof with this team, and guys are just figuring out what their roles are and buying into those roles. And again, I think the potential of this team is a national championship and also a conference championship. And when we look at the other teams we play, we like our chances every time we take the court. So just really excited about this team. And, we just kind of putting a precedent as a program to hold each other accountable, to be disciplined, to learn through our mistakes and just buy in and do whatever it takes to help this team win.
Yeah, that coming from Clay Gagen-Sherman, the head coach of the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse men's basketball program early on in this season as they work through, like he said, a long season. And, I would say, and I think it's fair to say, this is the most that you've had on a bench. I don't think there's an open seat on the bench here for you this season. A ton of student athletes, a full roster, and building depth. What can you say to that effect of just what the team makeup is this season and the fact that you can go to somebody else, somebody can pick up the slack? I mean, you have some guys that are out, but it's like to me there's no drop off. You miss having Keon out there, but there's guys that are playing well around the rim. You may not have this point guard for this game, but then a TJ Oliver steps up. So just what you can say to the amount of guys you have on this roster, which I think is the most ever, as well as the depth of the team.
Yeah, it as a coach, it kind of puts you in the driver's seat to hold your team accountable and keep guys in line and have them stay the course and do things the right way. And that was definitely a big part of, having a bigger roster, a talented roster with depth. Obviously through that, guys got to sacrifice. Only 5 guys play at once. There's only 40 minutes in a game. So it can be challenging because you do have talented players getting limited minutes at times, sometimes not even getting into games. And again, that is a challenge. Yeah. But it's a good problem to have, and guys just have to stay the course and stay ready and make the most of their opportunities when they get them. And I think that's definitely been happening within our team. Guys are getting opportunities. They are stepping up when their number's called. But yeah, as a coach, it is a positive because when guys start, acting up, doing things wrong, someone else can take their place in a second. And the guys that are sitting are ready for that opportunity. And again, guys know that, so it keeps everybody hungry. It keeps the atmosphere competitive, and it keeps us getting better as a team.
That coming from Clay Gagen-Sherman. Clay, before we jump out of here and before you jump on a bus for your next trip and your next matchup, you and I are going to play some rapid fire. So you're ready. He just rubbed his hands together. That means he thought about something. So you're going to get the first question. What's your question for me?
What's the score of tonight's game? What do you got? Us versus Bloomfield.
Okay. Bryant Stratton Syracuse 96. Bloomfield 82.
Okay.
All right.
I like that.
My question.
You did your scout.
What'd you say?
You did your scout.
Yeah. My question back to you. If you were coaching me right before I got out onto the court, what would you say in my ear?
Let it fly. Shoot or shoot, let it fly.
All right.
Don't think twice. If you're open, shoot the ball.
I like that. All right, what's your next one for me? You hear that, Nolan? So what's your next one? What's your next one for me?
Let me see. What is the most important job in the world?
Most important job in the world. I think one man already did it and he died, and then he rose. I would say, besides God himself, the most important job in the world. Man, I think we all have it. I think it's the job of staying the course, staying focused on faith, and keeping God first in a world that will give you every single reason not to. And I think it's living simply and living focused in a time where there are more distractions than ever, and remembering that the keeper of your life is you. I think so many of us want to know what other people think about us, and I think that's a dangerous road to be on. I think the most important thing to do is to know who you are, celebrate who you are, be who you are respectfully, and just know the rooms that are good for you to be in, and know the rooms that you don't have to waste your time in, but to be yourself in every single room. I would probably say that.
Love that.
All right. My question back to you. If you and I were in a movie together and we couldn't be what we are, you couldn't be a coach and I couldn't be a broadcaster, what role would you have? What role would I have? And what genre of movie would it be?
It's got to be a comedy.
Okay.
And I feel like, man, you're like a restaurant owner, like an Italian restaurant owner, maybe, and I'm just a client. Maybe you serve espresso or something like that. That's my spot that I stop at every day. We have a good conversation, and then, I'm off to work, and again, you're making some great pizzas, serving some good coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Making jokes every day.
Something wild happens, which puts us on a course to have some fun. I could see it. I can appreciate it. All right, what's your last question for me?
What's a skill that you don't currently have that you'd love to learn?
I've always wanted to be able to flip.
Jump up and do a flip?
Yeah. I've always wanted, like, at some point in my life, I want to be able to do a flip. And I see the things where they train people and they have like the harness and whatever, and they like kind of like train your body. I would love to be able to do a flip. I don't care if it's jumping off a wall and doing it or what, but I'd love to be able to do it at least once.
I feel like you still got time to learn that.
Yeah, I need to. I definitely need to learn it. My last question for you. Now that you have 3 children, if you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice right before your firstborn was born, what advice would you give to yourself?
I mean, sleep as much as possible while you can. I think that would be a good one. And then just enjoy every second. Like, don't take a second for granted when they're little, because it goes fast.
Yeah,
so that'd be a big one.
Yeah, if I were you,
slow down a little bit, no matter what else is going on, and just enjoy each day.
Yeah, my advice, if I was in your shoes, would be appreciate every high five from Cleo, because sometimes it takes years to get another one.
Don't give up. Never give up.
So with that being said, Clay Gagen-Sherman, this Bobcat Buzz exclusive in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. We're inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios celebrating the breaking news of the historic moment of the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse joining a conference, the NACIA. Clay, as always, I appreciate you. Safe travels today, and I'll see you soon.
Appreciate it, Dan. Take care.
All right, take care. Be good. That coming from Clay Gagen-Sherman. One more time, we're going to be setting up here in just a moment to have Amani Free, the women's basketball head coach at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, to celebrate this moment as well from her point of view. She is a first-time head coach. This is her first head coaching gig ever, and she gets to talk about this exclusive, awesome news of joining a conference for the NICIA. Amani Free is coming up after this fast break.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and it is time for part 2 of our special Bobcat Buzz that we have here for you today, and that is in celebration of the Bobcats with some exclusive news. So I am here picture-in-picture with Amani Free, celebrating the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats joining a conference, the exclusive breaking news that they are officially now a part of a conference, the NACIA. And I'm here with Amani Free in her first year as a head coach, this first head coaching opportunity at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, and being a part of history for the first year of them joining a conference. So a lot of firsts, Miss Free, that you all get to take care of at the same time. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing very well. So what are your thoughts about the fact that you come into a school that decided to join a conference, jump in with other campuses of Bryant and Stratton with Rochester, Albany, Buffalo, and Ohio, and also have the likes of Villa Maria as well as 5 towns, and to put in Bloomfield, who I know you're going out to face as well as Berkeley. What does it mean to you to join this conference?
It's just a special experience. I'm forever grateful for God just for this opportunity to be able to be the first a part of just ongoing success in generations that to come.
And when you look across this conference, and I know you do your due diligence, you played collegiate basketball, your NCAA Division I, you have had to make decisions in your life of where to go. Then you transferred, then obviously make a decision of where you're going to play professionally. So decisions, big decisions, have been a huge part of your life. This decision that you see for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, why do you think joining this conference and this caliber was a good decision?
I think it's an excellent decision because it opens up more experiences for the ladies as well as the school and the program. More opportunities to be exposed and have exposure of ourselves, to get our name out, and for everyone to learn more about us and other programs within this conference.
It also gives more weight to the games in the regular season, right? Because you have out of conference, but in conference, and now a conference tournament. And it gives your women on your team the opportunity before the national tournament to have 2 championship bouts, right? An opportunity to win a conference championship and then a hopeful opportunity of winning a national championship. So more hardware on the line. Just what your thoughts are on that your ladies on this Bobcat team now have an opportunity for a conference championship before playing for the hopeful opportunity at a national championship.
I think it's a wonderful experience. It's something that a lot of athletes dream to have, and that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'm just forever grateful that this is now an ongoing thing that the ladies get to experience and be a part of, and really overall just to have that personal experience themselves.
And I feel like now it parallels your life more. It makes more sense to you, right? Because in the NCAA Division I world, you have your non-conference schedule, your conference tournament, and then if you win that conference tournament, you get to go to the NCAA tournament. So now you're living in a world that you know all too well. And what does that say about the USCAA and Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse of paralleling that system that has worked so well in basketball?
It just continues to show that we're willing to grow and succeed and just do everything that we can to help support our students to have the best experience that they can throughout their time here. I think it's just a pleasure to also be a part of that opportunity.
So with this, we know that coming up here in a road trip, Bloomfield is going to have that piece of it, right? That conference piece of it. So just knowing that that's early on as well, right? You're not waiting to play a conference schedule. It's mixed amongst all of this, conference and non-conference. What's your take on scheduling wise, having conference and non-conference games back and forth really throughout the majority of the season? So it's not like you're doing one and then the other. You're in and out of conference play all the time. What does that do for the team?
Yeah, I think it gives them a different dynamic of how teams are within our conference and outside of our conference, gives them a different taste of what teams are doing, where we're going to play them every season, whereas outside we may play them once or twice a year or maybe every other year. You don't know. But I think that just opens up more experience to not only our ladies, but other schools as well.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the women's basketball schedule for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, this is, in my opinion, from all that I remember, I think this is the biggest schedule, most games that we're going to see Bryant Stratton women's basketball play when it comes to the length of the schedule. And so for you to know that there's a ton of games on this calendar, and there's been times where we haven't always seen that. So knowing that you're going to have a fruitful schedule, you're going to have a lot to look at, right? When we look at the view of the team, what the team is, what you're seeing from your student athletes, I don't think that there's ever been this much to go off of when it comes to volume. So just what that means to the school, what it means to the experience of student athletes, and what it says to your recruits out there that you're playing a higher volume of games than Bryant Stratton Syracuse women's basketball arguably has ever played.
I think it just goes to show that we are willing to outreach not only to within our conference, but outside of our conference and to other schools to really open up experience for not only our players, for other players to experience different types of competition and experience different travels, different arenas and environments with alongside that. And I think that just comes along with being an athlete. I think that's the type of experience every athlete wants to know. Being able to travel and see different arenas, how that feels to play for a game day, as well as different types of competitions in different cities and states.
We know you won your first game, and there's been some adversity since then, and there was a very close game against Penn State, Shenango, 4 points, 75-71, and then CCBC and Cheney had a bigger margin of victory on their side, and then you bounced back right after playing Cheney the next day and played a game almost to 197-95. So we know this team can score. We know this team can play in close games. What are you seeing through this adversity of these last few games?
I see the girls' just overall potential. I've told them from the jump that I think each and every one of them are special and have a special skill that I know and recruited them for. It's just overall amazing to see them starting to flourish and starting to believe that in themselves. I also think it believes to show how much they're willing to work and persevere through hardships. Although adversity may hit and it seems like things are glim right now, but I know that it'll turn around because the girls are hopeful and optimistic as well as I.
And, bouncing back from that adversity, you've obviously had the opportunity to practice with them. What have you seen? What's the energy like? And what is the culture like right now as you work through some of these kinks and continue to lead this team with Desi and with KD? What have you seen from the student athletes and how they've responded in practice?
I think overall they're starting to heed to our advice and learn that it is hard work and that this is taking a lot of dedication and that it will take time. It's an overall process. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a matter of an hour. It's going to take days and days and days of work and consistency. So I think that's something that they're starting to pick up on.
And for you, challenging yourself, you're somebody who has never shied away from having a challenge, never shied away from what is in front of you, how big that wall is, how steep the mountain is, whatever's going on, what the terrain looks like. I've never known you to do anything but face head on what's in front of you. So what has this challenge done to challenge you, and what have you seen out of yourself?
I think it continues to show me that I have learned more to learn and grow from. Overall, I know this is my first year coaching and that I'll consistently make mistakes, but I know that's something I will learn and develop from so that I don't continue to make those same mistakes, as well as the fact that I'm a very persevering coach and very loving coach. I care deeply about my athletes and want the best for them to see them succeed. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help them do that.
Yeah, and you have a team that is literally mixed up of New York City and upstate New York. Do you hear them go back and forth playfully with each other of who the real New York is? Is there some back and forth with these girls about the city and upstate?
Surprisingly, no, that hasn't really been a conversation. I think it's just a mutual of we know we're New York, so we're all friends in the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if there's any pizza battles that go back and forth between New York City and upstate New York, but I do want to, and we haven't mentioned her before, but I want to show her some love. Just what you want to say to the soul of Nevaeh that you have on your team, and just having her be around this team, and just what it means to have her and kind of see her journey as well, because I know you've gotten to spend some time with her.
Yeah, Miss Nevaeh is great. Freshman coming in, she was a little unsure of herself and her skill set when she first came in, and just watching her grow and build her confidence overall, it's just an amazing experience. The connection there is just great. She continues to ask me if anything she can do to get better. How can I be a better teammate? Encouraging her teammates. Just overall, great person, great athlete, great student.
And I got to ask you about Miss Butter. So, Maggie, it was funny because when I saw Maggie, she's like, "How you doing, Dan?" And I looked over at her, I said, "What's up, Butter?" And so she looked at one of her teammates, she's like, "See, I told you." So, what can you say about Maggie Butter? Because that's the only way I know to call her. I can't call her anything else. So what's the energy of Miss Butter out there?
Maggie's very energetic and very caring about her teammates. She's always willing to stand up and fight for them no matter what the cause. I know that she's working hard for her comeback, her senior year. She's doing an excellent job in rebounding and overall just being a leader behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah, and there's a cool thing that we have at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that you almost never see in sports. And that is that we have at this high level of athletic that we see in the USCAA, we have a brother and sister on the same on playing basketball, same school, one on the women's basketball team and on the men's basketball team. So we have Miss Lenasia on your team, and then we have Jo on the men's team. What has that dynamic been like? Because the crazy thing about it is when they look at you and they smile, it's the same face. But like, you know, obviously they got their own energy, they got their own feel, and apparently Lenasia has decided that just like I call Maggie Butter, that I'm not Dan, I'm not DT. To Lenasia, I am what's up, wake up call. So what are your thoughts on having the Drain family at Bryant Stratton Syracuse?
It's amazing. They're wonderful people. To speak on behalf of Lenasia, she's just overall a positive and great person to be around. She's always encouraging, trying to uplift people. Very God first woman as well, so that was immediate attached to me as well. Just overall great family, and I'm excited that they're both able to experience seeing each other play throughout their collegiate career. I know that once we're playing and they're sitting on the side, brothers cheering, and same goes for when Lenasia's sitting on the bench, she's cheering for her brother and the team as well.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that I really love is that you see that when there's a game going on, whether it's on a field or a court, the other programs are there. If there's a men's basketball game, the women's team is there. If there's a women's basketball game, the men's team is there. If there's a soccer game, the basketball team's there. If there's, basketball game, the soccer team's coming out. Just what it says about the bigger Bryant Stratton Syracuse family, that these student athletes support each other. They support different sports. The men support the women support the men. I've seen that over many years. What does that mean to you?
It means tremendously to me. It means that we're not only getting support from the community, but we get support from within our own community, that with our athletic departments, we know that each and every one of these students work hard and are dedicated to their academics as well as their athletics, and to watch them support one another is just a blessing to see.
Miss Amani Free, Bryant Stratton Syracuse women's basketball head coach, on the historic moment of joining a conference in the NACIA as well as speaking on the season. Monty, you and I are going to play some rapid fire. You got 3, I got 3. You got the first one. What do you got for me?
Coaches versus players on both teams. Who's winning?
Oh my goodness. Coaches versus players on both teams. Who's winning? Oh. Is it like you one-on-one, or is it like the 3 coaches versus like, is it 3-on-3?
3 player. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Man. All the girls going to hate me. I would have picked you, Miss Free, and the coaches on your side. Oh, man. I would pick the coaches on your side. And then on the men's side, they got too deep of a bench. Clay put together, he got some dogs out there. I don't know, man. So I'm going to pick the players on the men's side. I'm going to pick the coaches on the women's side. And y'all don't hate me for what I just said. But I will say this. I want to see X play Jo, because they trash talk each other something fierce. And he calls Jo Zach Randolph, which Jo considers like one of the most disrespectful things I think he's ever been called. So, I actually said that to X when we were leaving the game. I said, "Hey, how you think Zach Randolph looked out there today?" He's like, "He is Zach Randolph." So, but yeah, man, that's a tough question. Okay, all right, Miss Free. Me versus Nolan, me versus X, me versus Clay. When do you pick them? When do you pick me? And those 3 head-to-heads.
Ooh, tough one. Nolan and Coach Clay's got some moves, and me and Coach X have played basketball together. I know you can shoot, so that's gonna be a hard one. Might be some tie games in there. Might be some tie games.
You got to pick. I had to pick.
That is true. I'm sorry, Coach Clay, but Mr. Tortora, I think you got Coach Clay.
All right. He gonna hate you for that one.
I know. I'm sorry, Nolan. You got Nolan too.
All right.
But I don't know about Coach X. He got a little shiftiness to him.
Yeah. Okay. X is gonna talk trash to me. I know that. So X
He
is
might a little bit.
yeah, X gonna talk trash. He's gonna be like, he'd be like passing me the ball back. You know, we'd be like checking the ball, and he'd be like, "I thought you said you could shoot, man. What's up?" And I'd be like, "Shut up and play ball, X. You know I love you." So, but yeah, I'd be calling X nicknames to throw him off though. I'd be like, "Come on, strawberry pop tart. What we got? What we got? What we got? Strawberries." Well, like I'd be just trying to get into his head, and he'd be like, "Shut up and play ball." I'd be like, "Man, you shut up and play ball." So,
Oh, goodness.
no, X is some of the funniest trash talking I've ever heard in my life came from X. I really got to know him on that bus last year. So, all right, I'll take that. A win over Clay and a win over Knowles, and then maybe a close one with X. All right, I feel it. So I've been getting back at Game Point Sports Complex. I've been shooting again. I've
heard.
I've been back in the gym, and Amani saw it in her practice. So I've been back in that gym, and Jim Dispenza keeps saying to me, "When are you coming back in?" I was like, "Bro, I know." I said, "Listen, there's like this very thin line between I'm there sometimes and I'm gonna sleep in the gym. So if I could bring Lily, I'll sleep there."
Okay.
All right, what's your second question for me?
If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
You know I love to cook.
I know.
Man. If I could have one meal for the rest of my life, I probably got to go with the fact that I think I was born in the ocean. So I'm going to go with like a seafood pasta. I'm going to give myself a little shrimp pasta, buttered noodles, little Parmesan, little seasoning, and then throw that shrimp in there.
Okay.
That's what I'll go with. Because it's healthier too. So, all right, Miss Free. Okay, well, you know that I worked with Carvel for a long time. You know that I've had my Sundays over there. If we did the Miss Free Sunday, what ice cream flavor and what toppings would be in the Amani Free Sunday?
So I'm a very classic person, so I like vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
I might top it with rainbow sprinkles.
Okay.
And maybe on a special occasion, I'll throw some Oreos on top.
All right. Okay. There's something about like if they do the Oreo right with like the cream filling and you mix it into ice cream, when you get that cold like cream filling and like you get that in the scoop, it's like second to none. So I can roll with that. All right. What's your last question for me?
My last question. What's the best part of our friendship?
The best part of our friendship, that it's genuinely one of the easiest things and I never have to think about it. So I would say like coming to a game and like I walk in, I see you. I never sat down the whole men's game this week. I just came and stood next to you. And it's just like the whole conversation, talking with each other, understanding each, like how many people in the world can you understand so easily that you can laugh with while you're having a serious conversation, and that you could be talking about something and then something happens in the game and you're like nudging each other and you're like a little kid while you're trying to figure out life's problems, while you're laughing, while you're just, talking about faith. We can genuinely talk about anything. I trust you. I have you in that inner circle of mine. And, when my mom, when I thought in my head, like she might throw a surprise party, I literally said to myself, if Amani's not there, then it's not right. So I would just say we fit each other's lives very easily. And it's one of the easiest things I have. And it reminds me, in a world that sometimes I question what's going on, it's like my connection with you, my friendship with you, there's a safety and a security and a feeling that like I'm going to be challenged, I'm going to be treated well, I'm not going to be questioned on who I am as a human being. I feel like I can go to you and reset. And I feel like if you have people in your life that you can just go, and no matter how crazy things are and what's going on and how up is down and left is right, that you can just go stand next to somebody and they can give you a hug and look at you and you're like, I got it. So I feel like you're that place that is just always calming, and I feel safe there. So I would say that about our friendship.
Appreciate that, Mr. Tortora.
Stop calling me Mr. Tortora. Get out of here with that. So maybe sound like I'm old. So my last question for you. If you could go back in time to working with me for my company, what would you say to yourself, knowing everything you know now? What would you say to yourself sitting in this studio?
Breathe. I think that's what was really hard for me. I felt like as soon as I wanted to talk, I couldn't breathe. And I feel like you helped me ease into that, learning how to catch my breath before I start panicking and worrying about what ifs.
I love it. So on this screen here, folks, one of the best friendships that anybody could ask for, and proof that God exists. So Miss Amani Free, Bryant Stratton Syracuse women's basketball head coach, and heading on the road with her team to go into one of these NACIA games with Bloomfield in New Jersey. So as always, Miss Free, I never know how to say goodbye, so you know that I always will say, I will see you soon, and I look forward to it.
Me as well. You have a wonderful day.
You too. God bless.
You as well.
Thank you. And coming from Miss Amani Free as we celebrate the NACIA with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse and that dual exclusive. And Amani asking me these difficult questions, man. So, but I love it. I appreciate it very much. We're here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and I'm so happy to be here with Great Lakes because I absolutely love the work that I get to do with them, and I love the fact that there is one dealership that I can go to that I trust to get my vehicles to work, and if I have a question, to get it answered and to have somebody looking out. So, dealerships, I know a lot of people that you just don't want to go and you dread it. Great Lakes Honda City has been the place that I have chosen again and again and again. So thank you to them. Please go and choose them today. To Mark, to Elijah, to Malik, and the whole team over at Great Lakes Honda City, thank you for the work that you do. To the beautiful, wonderful people that are there at that front desk that always have a smile on their face and have great conversation with them. Shout out to the first face you see when you walk through the door as well. So God bless the Great Lakes Honda City. Go and visit them today, the only dealership that I have chosen for over a decade. We'll take a step aside for a fast break in these Great Lakes Honda City studios. We'll come back and we'll have plenty more. Top Dog of the Week is going to get announced, as well as featuring our Big 44 game special with director Paul Seeley.
Every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. We have a delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to, you know, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and it's now time for the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. You can go and see them at 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. They're right across from BJ's, right off of Bridge Street, right by Erie Boulevard, right off the highway. You could see them coming on the highway, going off the highway, and they are there for you. 315-437-7110 is the number to call to get in touch with them. And of course, you can also go to K-9 KAMP.com. That's K-9 KAMP.com. Call them at 315-437-7110. Top Dog of the Week. Who's it going to be? This was an easy one for me. I was talking to Murph about it on Monday. My top dog of the week is the University of Scranton's women's basketball team, Division III Buckets, taking down Division I Pittsburgh. What? They did. They jumped. They went up. But they went up 2 divisions? And they beat a D1. Like, we know the University of Scranton women's basketball team is good, but they beat an ACC team. These early scheduling games where they play D2 and D3 schools, Binghamton played a couple schools outside of division as well. You play these games thinking like, I got a D2 game, I got a D3 game, I'm going to get I'm going to get everybody out there. My team's going to get to do their thing. They're going to get comfortable. Ain't nobody got comfortable with Pittsburgh. D3 Scranton said, we got this. And they did. They had it. How about it? This is amazing. University of Scranton women's basketball team making it happen, getting it done. The Royals lived up to their name in the game, securing the victory. And, I mean, this is a team that we've heard about, or I've heard about, you know, when going to school down the street at Marywood University. And they go out here, they face off against SUNY Geneseo, who's ranked 22 in the nation. They beat them on the road 60-35. They went up against SUNY Cortland, who's number 7 in the nation, on the road. They beat them 69-50. They went up against New Jersey City University on the road. They won 87-46. And then it was considered an exhibition game against Pitt. They won 69-63, and then they beat Drew University 71-48. All these games have been on the road. They haven't played a single home game this season. They had an exhibition against Colgate as well. They haven't had a single game at home. Their first one is this Saturday, tomorrow, November 22nd at 4 p.m. Eastern time. They'll be at home, but they've been on the road for all of this, and they beat the University of Pittsburgh 69-63. Remember when Lemoyne beat Syracuse in men's basketball, and then Syracuse just didn't play Lemoyne for like 100 years? Ain't that something? You know, oh, we can't get you on the schedule. It's so difficult and tough and such. It's like, I don't think so. So, but yeah, University of Pittsburgh falls to Scranton. The University of Scranton women's basketball team, shout out to Scranton for getting the dub. Massive, 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 massive win. Let's get into it here and take it down. Pittsburgh in the Pete in the Event Center, which is not an easy place to go by any stretch of the imagination. So, Scranton opened the afternoon with efficient ball movement, timely perimeter shooting, threes from Sophia Toluto, as well as Megan Lamanna and Elizabeth Bennett to take a 15-12 lead after the first quarter. The Lady Royals built a double-digit advantage in the second quarter behind dominant rebounding from Katie Gorski, and also had scoring from Kaylee Romanowski, and halftime they led 37-27 over Pitt at the Pete on the road. Pittsburgh had a surge in the third quarter. They had an 11-0 run to outscore Scranton 23-7 in the third quarter and moved in front of them heading into the fourth. And then Scranton answered by getting the victory, bouncing back, winning the first two quarters, losing the third quarter, winning the fourth, and making it happen. They shot 40.9% from the field, 35.7% from three-point. They made 10 three-pointers in the game, the University of Scranton did, against Pittsburgh. 19 points off of turnovers, 25 fourth-quarter points, and 29 points off of their bench. Elizabeth Bennett had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Sophia Toluto had 14 points and 4 assists. Katie Gorski had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 4 steals. Megan Lamanna, 11 points, 4 assists, and Kaylee Romanowski, 9 points and 8 rebounds. Shout out to my top dogs of the week, the University of Scranton women's basketball Division III Buckets team that took down the Pittsburgh Panthers NCAA Division I program on the road in Pittsburgh at the Pete. I love it. I went to a D3 school down the road from University of Scranton at Marywood University. I was recruited, called by the coach Eric Grunman at the time, for D3 basketball. So I am proud to say NCAA Division III, you already know, but I see you. So let's take a step aside for a fast break. Congratulations to the University of Scranton. Just straight up doing amazing things, reminding people that athletes are athletes and they can come from any school, any division, and any game. You can see them come through. So University of Scranton, big shout out, big buckets, total team effort. God bless to you, and much appreciation and much respect to what you've done historically as well as what you have already done this season. And shout out to head coach Ben O'Brien, and want to also give a shout out to Hannah, Tom, and Erica on the coaching staff for the Lady Royals University of Scranton women's basketball program. My top dogs of the week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. You can go and see them at 315-437-7110 is the number to call. You can go to them on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. And, of course, you can also go to K-9 KAMP.com. That's K-9 KAMP.com. We'll take a step aside for a fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll be back to round out the show with our final piece, which is all about that Big 44 game, Section 3 and Section 4 high school football student-athlete all-stars here in upstate New York, honoring Ernie Davis and Floyd Little in the Big 44 game. We're speaking with director Paul Seeley after this.
Here's a message from Renee from Brian's Land. Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to K9campground.com as well. That's K9 ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Hello everyone, this is Dan Tortora here with Paul Seeley inside of the Dome. And of course, as we are in the postseason for high school football here in Central and Upstate New York, my hometown that I love so dearly, I'm very happy to talk also with Paul about the Big 44. And we're going to have Section 3 versus Section 4 once again here for high school football. Section 3 has a 2-1 record. Section 4 is hosting this year. Paul, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So just for those that don't know, just a little bit of history about the Big 44 and why it's so important to have Section 3 against Section 4 All-Stars.
Well, we decided a few years ago to have the game, high school All-Star game. It came up with Section 4 used to call their game the Ernie Davis game. So somebody made the suggestion, why don't we honor Floyd Little? He played here at Syracuse. Section 3, 4, and that's how it became the Big 44 game, Team Little versus Team Davis.
Yeah, Team Little versus Team Davis to honor the history. And I know that you don't know this, but there's something that I do every time I come in, and it's actually just a few steps away. Every time I come in to a Syracuse football game here in the Dome, because Floyd Little and I have and will always have such a close relationship with him being up in heaven now. And so every time I come in, I kiss my hand and I touch Floyd as I come here.
The big picture, yeah.
And after every game, I kiss it and touch it again. So I make sure that I give my love back to Floyd. So to honor Ernie Davis and Floyd Little, to honor their spirit and to honor what they mean to this community, just what that means to you.
It's great. Look, they were great football players, and this is a great history. We want to honor them. You know, we want to build our history off of the number 44. You know, for years, Pennsylvania used to have the Big 33 game. We kind of snitched a little thing off them. But it's a great game. The kids look forward to it. They have a ball. This year we're playing next Sunday, the 23rd, Norwich High School at noon. We're excited about it. We're going to pick our team tomorrow, practice all week.
Yeah, and when you put this team together, just let people know how you assemble this All-Star team.
Well, the coaches have to nominate their kid. Okay, like tonight, these kids are still available if you don't win. So we will pick the teams tomorrow based on the coach's nomination, you know, what we've seen and how we've done things.
Yeah, so like you said, the coaches have to nominate and then you put the team together.
Correct.
So in section, it can be anybody from Section 3?
Anybody in
class?
section, any class. And, you know, in fact, last year, one of the better players was from Onondaga. They're a D school, so you don't know.
Yeah.
So we look at everything.
Yeah, and putting that together, I mean, Section 4 is doing the same thing. What's that excitement like for you to see Section 3, Section 4, a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of fun between the two? Just how competitive Section 4 is as well.
Well, they're competitive. They're going to have good players. I mean, we're real competitive. We have no intention of losing. So I mean, we work hard. We get the best players. I mean, we're going to go play.
You know, and to have an all-star team and to have these kids be able to go and play with those that they've gone up against during the season, those that they have some history with, just what that does. Because, I mean, without this game, we don't have opportunities for these kids to play together from different schools necessarily.
And I'll tell you, they bond quickly. Football's a game like that. You know, they will cheer for one another. They go crazy when we score. Big tackles. They're a team. It's 1 week, but football is football, and they'll be together. They'll be a team.
I asked you about this before, but you're so passionate about the sport of football. How does that love stay with you? How do you keep the flame going, so to speak?
Okay, I probably get that question all the time. It's a gift from God. I'm a lucky dude. You know, I just do what I do, and I'm a football guy. And I've always said I needed football way more than football needed me. So I'm happy. I do what I do. You know, as long as I can still relate to the kids, I'm good to go.
You said you needed football more than football needed you. Why did you need football?
I don't know. I became a passion man. And, you know, my uncle played for a guy called Danny Dyson. He was the 24/7 clock. And when I was a kid, he brought me my first football. Okay. I don't know. You know, there's just, when you have a passion, sometimes you don't know why you have it. I'm not questioning that. I have it, I'm running with it.
And having that passion to work with other people in the community that give to this, just what you can say about some that sponsor this big 44
Oh, it's
event.
great. No, Brad Kieser and BMK Logistics, a great sponsor. Great sponsor. National Football Foundation, I'm on the board of directors. They've done a great job over the years, raising money, giving back to the community. U.S. Army is on our side. They give every year, hats, shirts. They do a great job. Our sponsors are wonderful. We could use a few more.
I got to ask you about this too, since he helps to set a lot of things up, but he's off the air and he's actually right over my shoulder right now. What do you want to say about Rock?
Look, he's probably, you know, he's to my right here, folks, but you can't do without guys like Rock. He's just invaluable. You know what I mean? People, if you've never run a football program, you can't do everything yourself. When you have somebody that you can say, okay, here's the job, get it done, and it gets done with passion and first class, dude, worth the weight in gold.
Final note here, Central and Upstate New York, it's your home, it's my home. I care about it more than words can say. What would you like to say to Central and Upstate New York?
What I'd like to say is just keep playing football. We need more people with passion for football. Kids need to get outside and play football, watch football, be a part of football, what that culture is. You can't just show up in August and think you're going to perform. It's only your own sport. You know, there's teams here that practice all year round. Wait, you go out for track, you do things to get better. And that's what we need more of.
That coming from Paul Seeley, the director of the Big 44 game, SEC Section 3. I'm thinking about football.
Okay,
I'm in the college football world right now. I'm sorry.
That's good.
But listen, well, we're talking about All-Stars. SEC makes sense. So Section 3, Section 4 going up against each other. And I am so happy to have Paul as well as Rocco and the whole team putting this Big 44 game together. To the Little family, to the Davis family, God bless you. We love you. To Ernie and Floyd up in heaven. Paul, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate
As
you.
always.
Talk to you soon. New York, great cars, great people, great lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. So head out to GG Cards and Breaks today. Let them know the DT sent you. They're open right now, and you do not want to miss out on getting there before everybody else does. They've told me before, people stand outside when they know there's going to be a release of something. They'll be waiting outside the door to come inside to get the Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, as well as Disney Lorcana, hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football. They have so many awesome things at GG Cards and Breaks, and I'm so happy they're in our community because they're led by great people who have huge hearts, who love the card community, who love to see people happy, and they do nice things for people all the time. People of all ages go to GG Cards and Breaks, experience what I've gotten to experience for multiple years now, and that is a place that feels like my card home. And I've met so many of my great and close friendships have started there. My wonderful people I have in my life. I've met so many wonderful, wonderful friends at GG Cards and Breaks. So we'll see you out there at 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. Come and see the best of them at GG Cards and Breaks. Love the community and the people. Chick-fil-A DeWitt, got to get yourself over here. You can't miss Chick-fil-A DeWitt. It is a giant brick building with a double drive-through. They are waiting to hear from you today. Some of you have already gone there for breakfast this morning. You said, I'm not waiting for you to even say the name, Dan. I'm heading right over to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. The food is awesome. The service comes to you from the wonderful Megan Sorber and her team. We look forward to seeing you out there for all of the favorites that you love so very much at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, including the seasonal peppermint chip shake that you can now get on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. You already know, but I'm going to tell you again. Head to Chick-fil-A DeWitt, Bridge Street, and Erie Boulevard. We look forward to seeing you out there, and we thank everybody who's already gone out to Chick-fil-A DeWitt as they opened just a few months back, and once again, we welcome them proudly to our community. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, you are amazing. This show is just, I love the people I get to work with. I love the people that we get to have as guests on the show. I love the businesses that are partnered with us. I love having Brendan Murphy on and Isaac Elford and Papa Joe as reoccurring people that are here on the show. I love my partnerships with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse and Binghamton University and Onondaga Community College. All of the wonderful people in this community, the wonderful hearts, the good souls, the kind souls, the giving people. You know, I wear this sun rising out of the coffee cup very proudly because God lets me do this every day. He lets me live my dreams every day. I get to be me and show that personality. I'm the same person on and off the air. And I just absolutely love that my life is so blessed. And that comes from the one gracious, giving God who challenges me, who pushes me, who demands the best from me, who has seen me fall, seen me fail, seen me let him down, and has never, ever given up on me. So I want to thank God above all things, all else, in this world and the next. I cannot say enough to God. So I appreciate you. I love you. You are my father. You are my brother. And you are my spirit. And I owe you everything that I have. And I proudly give it all to you every day. God bless. To each and every single one of you, thank you, God, for my life. Thank you for being here today. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com is what's popping. We brought you the annoying moment of the week. Proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. We brought you our exclusive breaking news of Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse joining a conference for the first time ever, the NACIA, and that came from Clay Gagen-Sherman, the men's basketball head coach and assistant athletic director, and the women's basketball head coach, Amani Free, who are both on the road traveling to one of those conference games, Bloomfield, New Jersey. They're actually just got on the road within the last minute. So safe travels and God bless to my Bobcats who are on the prowl. And I'm looking forward to hearing great things from all of you and the student athletes. Go have fun and play free is what I will say to each and every single one of you. Please be safe and have a great time. Shout out to KD, to Desi, to Brooke, to Mary, to X, to Nolan, as well as to Clay and to Amani, to all of the student athletes on the men's and women's basketball team, to all the student athletes at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, and for accepting me as a Bobcat. And I don't take that lightly at all. So I send you all my love and I appreciate you. Thank you to our top dog of the week, the University of Scranton women's basketball team. Shout out to you, Coach Ben, and to everybody on the squad. And many thanks to Paul Seeley and Rocco Carbone for setting up my Big 44 conversation. Can't wait to see the kids go out there and have fun over this weekend for the Big 44 game. And always, as you know, it is easy for me to honor a close friend, a personal connection and professional connection in Floyd Little. And of course, honoring the life and having so much appreciation for a man that I would have loved to have met, and someday in heaven I will, Mr. Ernie Davis. So God bless to you and your families. The number 44 is going to be honored by Rob Conrad, the Little family, Terry Richardson, and So many wonderful people coming up next week, and I'm going to be speaking with Rob Conrad about it before it happens on Friday, November 28th, and on Saturday, November 29th for the Boston College game. So thank you to Paul Seeley. Shout out to the Big 44. Go and see Section 3 and Section 4 or All-Stars going up against each other, hosted by Norwich High School in Norwich, New York. And, of course, being with us, thank you to all of you on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com as well. And, of course, once we go live, we jump into the archives, and you get to hang out with us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. We look forward to hanging out with you all, as always, on all of these wonderful, wonderful channels. I can't thank them all enough, all of these wonderful companies that have allowed Wake Up Call to be on their channels and to get out to you 24/7 all across the world. So shout out for that. And, of course, many thanks to those that help my job be even more special. Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Brakes, Myers Creek, both locations out on the countryside, 33 Rippleton Road. I just want to go out there and get around a nice fireplace and just snuggle up and relax at Myers Creek, 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia, and, of course, in the Syracuse Inner Harbor, where Wake Up Call Game Day has returned to you, the fan, and we will be with you one more time. Our pregame Wake Up Call Game Day Live will be at noon Eastern Time on Saturday, November 29th, on-site on location at Myers Creek, Syracuse Inner Harbor, on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. We will see you there, and then we will go to the game with you at 3 p.m. in the Dome. Hopefully, we'll get to see maybe Luke Carney out there throwing the ball in the last game that he can do before he has to be red-shirted for the season so he doesn't lose this year. We look forward to seeing you out at Myers Creek. Of course, big-time shout-out to K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, with some Black Friday deals coming up. So you want to get to 201 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York to visit Ma and Pa's. And if you're not in this community and you're watching and listening from somewhere outside of New York, you go to maandpaspopcorn.com and treat yourself. Game Point Sports Complex, Mother's Cupboard, the home of my Cuse Mac Mother breakfast sandwich exclusively. Bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Have it with some syrup, cinnamon, and powdered sugar, and that will hit all your taste buds for the sweet and savory. Big time shout out to Brian's Landing, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's Pizza Man, and of course we are and Chick-fil-A DeWitt, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your team that you just heard from today, Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. You'll find the Bobcat Buzz exclusively with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're hanging out with you every month with your Bobcats, student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni. Find over 100 videos, including today's exclusive broadcast with Amani Free and Clay Gagen-Sherman, by going to youtube.com/wakeupcallDT. Click subscribe, hit that notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You will also find the Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bearcats every Tuesday during Bearcat time. You already know, 10 a.m. Eastern time worldwide. You will find student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni of Binghamton University hanging out here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You'll also find our archive on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. Find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. The Onondaga Community College Lasers are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your lasers every other Wednesday, bi-monthly on Wake Up Call. Coming up right before Thanksgiving, we'll have another special with the lasers on Wednesday, November 26th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We call it the Laser Lounge. Student athletes, coaches, and administration joining the show to tell the story of Onondaga Community College that I've been wanting to tell for such a long time. You will find the lasers on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Find the OCC playlist. The lasers are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and underneath the exclusive partners tab for more information, go to onondagalazers.com and go Lasers. I want to thank y'all for being a part of the show today. I want to thank Clay Gagen-Sherman, Amani Free, and Paul Seeley one more time. I want to thank Rocco Carbone in the background. I want to thank the lady who deserves to have some time off and is taking it, Miss Brooke Paro. And I want to give y'all a shout out. Big time thanks to Great Lakes Honda City for being our exclusive studio partner and the only place that I've been getting my vehicles for over a decade. Go to Great Lakes Honda City today. As for Elijah, Mark, Malik, and the squad over at Great Lakes Honda City, God bless to y'all. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress, do your best. The goatee's back. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe and be good to each other and yourself. You're amazing. God loves you.